What is the number now?
It's a low number. It's definitely low.
Is it lower than before?
Lower than before.
Do you want to do a hot or
It was
colder?
58 before, I think.
Right.
No, sorry. It was 60 and then it went to 58.
By the time you'd uploaded.
Yeah.
Is it a 55?
Lower.
53?
Lower.
52?
Lower.
51?
Lower.
50?
Lower.
That means over 50% of people, the majority, 49.
49.
Guys.
Eternals is at 49% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. This is insane. The reason why I think this has happened is critics, they saw that the film was kind of getting bashed in some ways by other critics, and they kind of thought to themselves, wait, I have free reign here. Maybe I can be honest about my opinion.
Yeah.
And they just let it go.
I think it was the rush, and everyone went, well, if I'm not going to get hate, if I'm going to be honest about it, and everyone's being honest, then I might as well just say my true opinion.
It's shocking.
And everyone goes, well, it's shit.
It is surprising that it's been this slow. Oscar winner directing this movie.
Guys, I think this is honestly unfathomable. You told me 2 years ago that they'd have an Oscar-winning director directing a Marvel film.
Yeah.
But it's going to be rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
The only rotten film from the MCU. Like, it goes below 60, it's rotten. This is below 50. It's at 49.
Guys, you have to think, with those numbers, specifically it being under 50, that really means that 51% of the critics, this isn't even a regular population yet.
Yeah.
Critics, which is the majority, did not like this film. That's the majority.
Because this is something I heard from other critics at the beginning when it was trailing at like 63, 64. And people were saying, oh, well, if it's 63, 64, that means that most people liked it who saw it. Well, not anymore. Now, that's out of the water because people were really batting on that at the beginning, saying it's tracking at 65%. Most people think it's good.
But not anymore, then.
I don't know. I saw comments from the last video and things we said in our basically trash talk, honest talk about the Eternals being the worst rated MCU film ever, worse than Thor: The Dark World, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I won't get into it, Ant-Man and the Wasp. People were saying, and I agree with it, maybe it's actually decent, but the critics just didn't like it.
Yeah.
There is a chance.
There is a chance once it hits the public and regular people start talking about it that it will be very well enjoyed.
Yeah.
However, these critics have been bolstering films for a long time. The critics give it a 99%. The critics give it over a 90%.
And the fans give it a 40%.
Then, yeah.
But this time it might be the opposite. It might be one of those where the critics gave it a really low score, but the fans give it a high score.
Yeah.
Because people are still invested in the MCU. Maybe it's just a really weird paradigm shift here.
It is.
Where they've been allowed, maybe through their companies, their critic companies, maybe they've just felt like they can actually say their opinion without being bashed, because it seems like everyone is having a similar opinion where it's just middle of the road, meh, it could have been more, there could have been something so special about this film, and it just turned into a film with decent CGI and pretty much nothing else.
That's a shame, you know. I was expecting some good acting performances from this cast.
I wasn't.
Oh, I was hoping.
I wasn't.
I was hoping for some. And I'm not saying that we can't receive those, but if the story itself is a bit subpar, then, you know,
that's
acting
pretty
can only
much
put
the
it so
main
far.
thread. Like, the story is very, very blah. The story could have been so much more, and it fell so flat. The villains as well, apparently, were just pretty non-existent.
Bland.
But then, we haven't seen it, so we shouldn't bear our judgment because of what other people have said, but it is worrying that the critics have given it that score, considering they are so positive on Marvel films. The fact that Thor: The Dark World has a 66 or 65, I mean, and this is at 49, that is pretty disgusting.
It's shocking.
Yeah. But then people loved Captain Marvel, some people. I don't know how. People loved Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't know how.
No, guys, I'm gonna come out and say if Ant-Man and the Wasp is your favourite Marvel film, you have the right to your opinion. The story, all over the place. Despicable. It was barely coherent. The character motivations, bleh. Get it out.
No.
It was just so...
The villain.
The villain. Oh my god.
The other villain.
It was just so... I did not expect this. But this film, look, we can hope it does well.
Yeah.
We hope at least we enjoy it. The whole point of watching films or television is to gain some element from it, whether it's a new way of thinking or some enjoyment or a little bit of a reprise from the real world. So if it can give us one of those, it'll have been time well spent.
Plus, it's all to do with personal taste. Like you said, everyone can have a different opinion. I loved the first Ant-Man. Thought it was great, innovative, different. And the second one was just utter rubbish. That's just how I feel. Other people will say it's the other way around, and they'll say that they loved the second Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they hated the first one. I don't know how you could really square that circle and figure that one out with some magical juju, but maybe that's how you feel, and that's absolutely fine. But we're gonna go and watch Tenet now, because I think after all this nonsense, we should probably get on to something that we should have seen. I think there was one thing with the sound mixing that was very all over the place with this film, but hey, Christopher Nolan does the job pretty much every single time. Interstellar, bit of a mess. Bit of a mess there. But other than that, he's like batting very highly for his film. So we're gonna go watch Tenet. Hopefully the Eternals isn't as bad as it seems, and Tenet is actually good. I'm saying Tenet. I'm pretty sure it's Tenet.
Tenet.
I don't know.
Tenet.